Hey, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the food poisoning and vomiting. So, due to the food poisoning and contaminated food, so in this way, we will understand the reflex by toxin also. So, here is the person which that is contain a brain and gastrointestinal tract. This is the primary infection in the food like the pork, meat, juice, fruit. So in this way, whenever you will intake, so the secondary infection and contamination will occur. The secondary infection into the body. So whenever the bacteria will enter into the stomach, so some bacteria can survive, will lead to vomiting center activation in the brain, and vomiting center and chemoreceptor trigger zone. So we will understand shortly in this video. So please watch the whole video to understand. So the food poisoning occur in duodenum mostly, but acidophile and thermophile microorganisms survive in stomach also. So that will go into the duodenum, will lead to activation the reflex by toxin, and lead to cause vomiting. Stomach acidity not kill that bacteria, and meat contamination, improper cooking such as pork and beef will lead to cause poisonous. That is food poisonous. And not single species of microorganism involved, but many type of microorganism involved. So we will also understand the poisoning microorganism. So please watch the video whole. So in this way, the food poisoning is an illness caused by eating contaminated food. Recovery can be possible without treatment for some individual, but some individual basically not recover with the treatment without treatment. So that is why some can recover. Anyhow, the microorganisms are present in the meat. We can analyze through the electron microscope and microscope, basically the compound microscope. In this way, we can identify the poisoning microorganism Campylobacter common cause, which that is mostly Salmonella also mostly, but Escherichia coli, E. coli, and norovirus, which that is the viral reflex by toxin. On the other hand, the Listeria and Vibrio cholera. So in this way, the whole story is here. Start from here. So contaminated food, for example, food contamination, Staphylococcus aureus, which that is present in the meat whenever you will intake, is known as the ingestion. And in this way, after the grinding of the meat will become a bolus, and that bolus will enter into the stomach, and this bolus contain a contaminated bacteria, poisoning bacteria, which that will survive in the stomach, even the more acidity due to the acidophile and thermophile bacteria. And in this way, the emesis will occur due to the contraction of diaphragm and the antiperistaltic movement. The antiperistaltic movement is also known as the emesis. So in this way, our digestive system, our GIT tract, contain a enterochromaffin cell. Enterochromaffin cell is very important for degranulation to produce the serotonin, the 5-HT3. But anyhow, the acetylcholine for muscle contraction due to the nerve degranulation to acetylcholine. On the other hand, important thing is that here is the staphylococcus enterotoxin we release from the staphylococcus. Production of enterotoxin we release in the basically in the lumen. And on the other hand, here is the mucosa and submucosa. Submucosa contain nerves. This is submucosal mast cell also degranulate, will lead to release the 5-HT3. This serotonin release and will bind with the serotonergic neuron, which that is also enter into the blood circulation and go to the brain to stimulate the chemoreceptor trigger zone. So remember, the chemoreceptor trigger zone also trigger via a blood circulatory system through a blood-brain barrier. So anyhow, this is the blood circulatory system which that's contain a um, contain contain a staphylococcus enterotoxin. So it is the example. Mostly another another toxin also. So but it is the enterotoxin. Anyhow, so in this way, it will target to the chemoreceptor trigger zone, will sense the chemical, lead to transmit the signal to the vomiting center. So in this way, the vomiting center will trigger the vagal efferent nerve, not vagal afferent, but vagal efferent nerve. So this is the my mistake. The vagal afferent is not, but the vagal efferent, which that transmit the signal to the diaphragm and the gastrointestinal tract for the antiperistaltic movement due to the muscle contraction, the smooth muscle contraction due to the acetylcholine neurotransmitter. Anyhow, first of all, we should need to understand the afferent nerve. So afferent nerves, here is a spinal cord. So let's understand about that. This is the afferent vagal nerves 9. Vagal nerve 9 is important for the emetic reflex. So in this way, here is the 5-HT3 receptor are present in the vagal nerve as a serotonergic neuron. This vagus nerve in stomach and GIT will receive the 5-HT3 through a 5-HT receptor. This 5-HT receptor receives the serotonin, and this submucous mast cell also degranulate to release the 5-HT3. It will be bind and transmit the signal through the vagal afferent nerve toward the brain through a spinal cord. And in this way, the vomiting center will receive the signal to vagal efferent nerve to vomiting or emesis. So this is the reflex by toxin will occur. In this way, here is the yellowish color shows the motor neuron. This motor neuron is a vagal efferent motor neuron, while this is the vagal nerve in stomach and GIT, which that is the afferent. Anyhow, here is the 5-HT3 inhibitor will be used to. It is a competitive inhibitor uh, for decreasing the vomiting. For example, during the morning sickness. So anyhow, which that inhibit by the 5-HT3 inhibitor. But on the other hand, the symptom we will understand here: the feeling sick, vomiting, abdominal cramp, bloody diarrhea, lack of energy, and loss of hunger and fever due to the food poisoning and vomiting. So anyhow, the treatment we will understand now, which that is very simple to understand. Rest is very important. Water drink frequently and subsequently, and overall rehydration, and try small meal and avoid drugs. On the other hand, the quit pork consumption and the proper cooking, antibiotic and vomiting inhibitor. Vomiting inhibitor is the 5-HT3 inhibitor. On the other hand, the electrolyte and the water as well as drip of glucose solution and hospitalization is considering thing. So in this way, the food poisoning and vomiting is done. So thanks for watching.